Kyle Larson is able to get his first win of the year in only his fourth start with Hendrick Motorsports and becomes the fastest Hendrick Motorsports driver to get a win for HMS. And he also wins at another racetrack that, not similar to Homestead, but puts on some great racing. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and dive on into this episode. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again, and welcome back to another episode of NRR. And in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the 2021 Pennzoil 400. Now, you guys may have seen my original upload on YouTube already, I believe early Monday morning, around like 1 a.m. or something. Yet, when I played it, nothing was playing, so during Monday, when I was doing school, I was just trying to figure it out, what was going on. I was not able to, so this morning, which is Tuesday today, I decided to go ahead, delete the video, and just just make another upload. And then, come to find out, when I was filming, with my face and stuff, I think only one person saw it. When I was filming with my face, something, I don't know, the camera was just not working, and stuff, there's so many mistakes, so I decided to just go back to filming like this. So I'm going to stay like this, but I'm just going to switch over to my iPad because I just want to film like this because that's how I've been filming, for YouTube and stuff. So it's unique and I want my own unique way. So I'm going to be doing it like this. So yeah, let's go ahead and get back into this video. So we're going to be reviewing our top 10. We're going to rate the race, and after that, we're going to talk about some notable finishers and how the race played out. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Kyle Larson is able to get the checkered flag at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, getting his first win on a 1.5-mile racetrack after coming up close on a 1.5 mile 9 times in his career, because he's won at Auto Club, he's won at Michigan 3 times, he won at Richmond, his first short track win, and he won at Dover, which is sort of like an intermediate or something. I don't know what you call Dover, it's a 1-mile track, but still, Kyle Larson able to get his first win of 2021, and now because of this, I wonder some sponsors are going to be looking up to Kyle Larson because this was a pretty big win, and he's been racing for like Nations Guard and Hendrick Cars.com, and I love that paint scheme that he was running. It's like a like a memory to like Rick Hendrick's late son. But yeah, Kyle Larson able to capitalize with his first win of 2021 and maybe even more. And I predicted Kyle Larson would make the playoffs and be eliminated in the round of 8, but he is definitely a championship 4 contender because he's been looking really good on these 1.5-mile racetracks. I mean, he did pretty good at the Daytona road course until he, hit the tire barrier with a few laps to go. So imagine if that wouldn't have happened, he probably could have won this race and beaten Christopher Bell or Joey Logano. So I can't wait to see what Kyle Larson has in his future because we're going to Phoenix, and I want to see how he does at Phoenix because he finished like 3rd there last year in Chip Ganassi equipment, so let's see what we can do in HMS equipment because that's a better car, and he could make the championship 4. But overall, pretty decent day for Kyle Larson in the 5 team. Finishing second was Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski coming up short once again here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, getting second. But I also like how he showed some good sportsmanship, high-fiving Kyle Larson when Larson got the checkered flag. Brad Keselowski not really having the best start to the season, after having that luck or somewhat luck at the Daytona 500 on the last lap, had that vicious crash. He did not run so well at the Daytona road course because he did not run good there last year in 2020, and then at Homestead last week, he was dominating, and then Chris Buescher came out of nowhere, and then suddenly Brad Keselowski started to fall back a bit, and now he gets his first second place finish of the year. And yeah, Brad Keselowski definitely a dominant driver right now in 2021. He's just coming up short. They just need to find some adjustments and stuff. But they ran a pretty decent race, because they won stage 1. And yeah, they just had a really good race. It was just hard to beat Kyle Larson, and because Larson was just fast, and Keselowski, he needed a caution in those last 72 laps to catch Kyle Larson. But still, Brad Keselowski, they're going to Phoenix next week, and Keselowski finished second there last year to Chase Elliott, and that's a pretty good track for Brad Keselowski because they've been pretty good on the short tracks last year, so they could take that momentum from last year and upgrade it into this year. So we could see Brad Keselowski probably in victory lane next week, and maybe in the championship. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but still, overall, a pretty decent day for Brad Keselowski and the two team. Finishing third was Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch also ran a pretty decent race. He was like catching up to most of the drivers, during that long green flag run in stage 3. He had a pretty decent race car, coming up short in third place. If he would have had, I don't know, like another like 15, maybe even 20 laps, he could have won this race. But Kyle Busch still ran a decent race. He also ran a pretty cool looking paint scheme, that mint green paint scheme with chocolates on it. I don't know, I forgot the name of it, but I remember him saying that his grandmother took him to like a place where they had that, and they were able to put on the race car, and Kyle Busch was like 5 years old, so I think that was pretty sweet. Hopefully we get to see that car, more on Kyle Busch's cars later in the future, but overall Kyle Busch ran a pretty decent race. Not enough to catch Kyle Larson. In fact, I don't even think he would have had 15 or 20 laps to catch Kyle Larson, because Brad Keselowski was pretty far ahead too, but what can you do? Kyle Busch still ran a pretty decent race at his home track, and now they're going to ISM Raceway next weekend. They're decent at that track. They got a win there ever since they changed the start finish line, so we'll see what Kyle Busch can do in the 18 car, because I don't know. Right now, they do not look like the best car in 2021, and in fact, they don't even look like a Championship 4 contender right now. But we're early in the season, only through race 4. Let's see what Kyle Busch can do in race number 5 next week. Finishing in fourth was Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin also ran a pretty decent race. He led some laps. He had some good restarts, just like Brad Keselowski. He just wasn't fast enough to catch, Larson and Keselowski, and Kyle Busch just zoomed right by. But yeah, Denny Hamlin had a decent race, and I still think Hamlin could really compete for the championship, because I'm going back to, like, they're all going back to Phoenix, and a lot of drivers are going to be putting a lot of effort into those Phoenix cars, because they don't know if they're going to make the championship 4 or not. And Denny Hamlin's definitely a championship 4 contender, because he's been running well on the mile and a halves, as of last year, and he ran pretty good today at Las Vegas, so we could see Denny Hamlin taking these mile and a halves to his advantage and winning on them, because of this package that nobody likes. But still, Denny Hamlin ran a decent race. And also, I want to point something out. Kyle Busch won the first stage of the 2019 season and won the championship. Chase Elliott won the first stage of the 2020 season and won the championship. And Denny Hamlin won the first stage of the 2021 season. He could make the championship and win it. That's why I have Denny Hamlin winning the championship. Not really. I predicted it before the Daytona 500, but he did win stage 1, so we'll just have to see. But overall, pretty decent race for Hamlin in the 11th. Finishing in 5th was Ryan Blaney. This was most likely Blaney's best race of the season, because the Daytona 500, he wrecked on that like lap 14 crash. The Daytona road course, I don't think he had the best day. He wrecked Ross Chastain. Homestead, he got in that incident with Eric Almirola, nothing on Blaney's fault. And then today, or actually Sunday, Blaney had a great race at Las Vegas, because Las Vegas, he like did great there in 2020 until he had that pit stop, and that kind of like gave him a bad finish. But still, Blaney's still good on these mile and a half, so I can't wait to see what he can do. Probably fix the mistakes that he made from last year, like him and his crew. So I really just can't wait to see what they can do. And then, you also had ISM Raceway last year, the exact race, they wrecked with Keselowski and Hamlin, and that kind of took them out. So I want to see what Blaney can actually do, because I forgot where he finished in the ISM Raceway race last year for the championship. So we'll see what Blaney can do, but overall, pretty decent race for Ryan Blaney and the 12 team. Actually, good day for all Penske guys, because they all finished in the top 10. So decent day for Ryan Blaney and the 12 team. A good step forward. Finishing 6th was Martrix Jr. Martrix Jr. also ran a decent race. He wasn't the best car, because I predicted him to win the race, but he didn't have the fastest car, but he was still up there. He had like a top 5 car, but he finished 6th. But overall, decent day for Martrix Jr. in the 19 team, still working with his new crew chief, James Smalls. I don't know, it's just at the mile and a halves, or at these other tracks, they just been good, but they just come up short in like a 3rd, 2nd, maybe 4th, 5th, or 6th place or something. They gotta fix that, because they need to start winning some races, because this isn't the same Martrix Jr. we've seen, in 2017, 2018, and 2019. This is a whole new Martrix Jr. with a whole new crew chief, and really, Cole Pearn has given Martrix Jr. a lot of his success, and without him, you see the real Martrix Jr. only has 1 win, and so far at 2021, they've been okay, but not the best. So we need to see some progression from Martrix Jr. because right now we're starting to see some regression from MTJ. But hey, we still have a long season to go with only like 32 more races, so we'll see what MTJ can do in the 19 car with his crew chief James Small. Finishing 7th was Christopher Bell. Also forgot to mention all JGR guys finished at the top 10, but still Christopher Bell, he also ran a decent race in that beautiful Craftsman car I saw from Las Vegas. But still, they they're just trying to rack up as many points as they can, since they're technically in the playoffs and they're definitely playoff contenders. So I can't wait to see what Christopher Bell and the 20 team can do, especially if they have like a better crew chief than they did last year. But still, Christopher Bell running some good races so far. Not as many mistakes as we've seen from last year, because last year he had that Tokyo drift at Las Vegas, and now they just had a good race. So still, a lot more racing to go. Nothing really much to say about Christopher Bell. They were probably like decent. They were just decent, if I had to say. But still, overall, pretty decent day for Bell and the 20 team. Finishing in 8th was William Byron. William Byron also had a dominant car from earlier today. I mean, he went 3 wide with his teammate Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick for the lead out in turn 3, and he led the first lap. And Byron, his car, actually all the Hendrick cars looked dominant earlier today. You like Alex Bowman looked good. Chase Elliott didn't look that good. He didn't look as good as he did in the 2020 Las Vegas race, the Pennzoil 400. Larson, of course, he won. Bowman did decent, and Byron, he ran a good race as well, but then later in the race he just wasn't fast enough as like the other Toyotas and his teammate and the other Fords, so he just got an 8th place finish. But that's pretty good, because William Byron, this could be a breakout year for him, because his crew chief Rudy Fugle is doing a heck of a job behind the pit box, better than Chad Knaus. I have to be honest there. Chad Knaus still good, but Rudy Fugle, I think him and William Byron are a better pairing. In fact, who was William Byron's 2018 crew chief? I have no idea, but still, William Byron finishing in 8th, a great way to start out the year for the 2014. Finishing in 9th was Joey Logano. Joey Logano also had a great day at Las Vegas. He wasn't like his usual self at Las Vegas, because I thought, he won the Pennzoil 400, hint, in 2019 and 2020, so I thought he could go for 3 in a row, but I decided no, especially after that South Point 400 in 2020, so I decided to pick Truex. But he still finished better than Logano, but still, Joey Logano, they did have a pretty decent day in the 22 team, in the 22 car, but not as good as the other days. But still, Joey Logano still trying to find victory lane. He had that win at Kansas last season, but still needs to get things clicking again. I mean, he won at Phoenix last year, so he could possibly win it again. So watch out for Joey Logano next week, because he finished 3rd at ISM Raceway last year in the championship and 1st in the spring race. So watch out for Joey Logano, probably to get a top 5 or become a winner again. So watch out for Joey Logano and the number 22 team. Also, another thing I love is that NASCAR on NBC, on their Instagram, I saw on their Instagram and their Twitter that they posted a Joey Logano Kyle Busch like stay 6 feet apart thing. It was so hilarious. Like, you guys have to check it out. But yeah, that thing was hilarious. Like, this is like kind of a reenactment. Like that Kyle Busch on one side, Logano on the other side, at 6 feet apart at Las Vegas, because those two have a history, 2017. But still, that was a great sense of humor from NASCAR to put that there for Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. But now let's move on to 10th place. And finally, rounding up the top 10 was Eric Jones. Eric Jones, he wasn't running all that well. Early in the race, he was like in the 20th or something, and then he comes back to get a top 10 because he had a pretty decent long run car. He ran pretty good, and it's weird how he finishes 10th at Las Vegas, but Bubba Wallace didn't. Well, actually, Bubba Wallace, he finished 6th in the Las Vegas race. In the Pennzoil 400, he finished 6th, and then Jones gets 10th, so I don't know, I guess RPM's pretty decent at Las Vegas, so we'll see what Jones could do in the South Point 400. Later this year, hopefully he could win it if he makes the playoffs, but we'll see. In fact, that's in the round of 12. I don't even know if they can make it. In fact, when was the last time the 43 car was in the playoffs? Like, 2014? Yeah, 2014, I think. But still, yeah, pretty decent day for Eric Jones and the 43 team, trying to, build up so they can make the playoffs. Because right now they don't look half bad. Like really, they just don't look half bad. And now let's rate this race. This race was pretty decent in my opinion. I mean, you had some pretty great battles on the restarts. The restarts in the race on Sunday and the Xfinity Series race on Saturday and the Truck Series race. Like I don't know, but Homestead in Las Vegas, they have pretty good restarts, when it comes to like the Xfinity Cup and trucks. So that was pretty exciting to see the restarts and stuff. And we didn't have that many wrecks. We did have that Chase Elliott spin, but I'll get to that in a minute. But still, it was a great race nonetheless, a pretty decent one. Actually, a good race, I'll say that. It did drag on with that like 72 lap long green flag run, so or somewhere around there. So I rate this race. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 or 80 out of 100. So that's my final score, 8 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. And now let's talk about some notable finishers. Before I talk about Chase Elliott, I want to talk about Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting an 11th place finish. They ran pretty decent, so props up to them. And Chris Buescher getting 14th. Ryan Preece 15th and stuff. That was a good finish for them. But Chase Elliott, he made a good recovery from that spin out. Because I don't know, this is 2 Las Vegas races in a row where he's wrecked. Well, the Pennzoil 400, because he wrecked, he had a flat tire in the 2020 Pennzoil 400, and then now he got loose coming out of turn number 2 and made contact with Kurt Busch, and then he just made a full 360 and was able to save it, keep it going. They fixed the damage, or some of the damage, and they were able to rally back to get a 13th place finish. So that was a bit of a decent recovery by Chase Elliott in the 19. Matt Benedetto is another story because he had a terrible, or has had a terrible start to 2021, because after the Homestead race, freaking Jamie McMurray had more points than Matt Benedetto in the point standings, and McMurray only ran 1 race, and Benedetto ran 3. But alright, but it's race 4. Benedetto, they had a top 10 car all day. They ran pretty decent in stage 1, stage 2, but then they had some issues towards the later part of the race, and they ended up at the 16th place finish. So not pretty happy for them, but still they're trying to progress and stuff. But right now they're just starting to have a bit of a down year, because like 5 drivers I see having a down year. Actually no, 5 drivers that should kind of panic around this time should be like Blaney, but you got a top 5, so that's pretty good. Benedetto, Eric Jones, because he's in the 43 car, but we'll see how he does, because he got a 10th place finish. Bubba Wallace, because they've had some issues and stuff, but their team, they need to progress and stuff. And another driver, I'd have to say Eric Almirola, because Almirola once again involved in another wreck, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then Kevin Harvick. Harvick also had a pretty bad day. I mean, he started on the pole for this race, and then somehow he just finishes in 20th and stuff. I think he was like a lap down or something. I don't know what's been going on with Kevin Harvick, but he's just been starting to regress. I don't know what's been happening. This is 2 bad finishes in a row. Stewart-Haas Racing not living up to the hype as they did last year with Kevin Harvick winning, Cole Custer doing good and stuff. And yeah, this is just a terrible, terrible year to start for Stewart-Haas Racing. But it's not only Kevin Harvick. You also have Eric Almirola having a bad start to the season. He had that Daytona 500 crash. He didn't run so good at the Daytona Road Course. He wrecked at Homestead with Ryan Blaney, and then he wrecked again. He had like 2 flat front tires and stuff, and that ended up with a bad finish for Almirola. So yeah, Stewart-Haas Racing not doing so good, because I believe Almirola, he finished like dead last. He finished 38th, I think. So yeah, that really, really sucks for Stewart-Haas Racing. And it really, not just for these 2, but basically all of them. I mean, you have Cole Custer running in, in his Cole Custer's position or something, because Cole Custer, I think he finished like 25th or something, and then Chase Briscoe also had a bit of a struggle, but he came back at like 21st in the race, and he was like running in like the 30s or something. So yeah, that's a bit of concern for that team. I don't know what's going on for Stewart-Haas Racing, but they got to get it together, because right now they don't look that playoff readiness, if you know what I mean. Bubba Wallace is another driver. They had power steering issues at first. Nothing of his fault. It's just the team. They're progressing. They're trying to get better and stuff. But he did get a 28th place finish. It was a bit of a comeback, because he was running in like 34th, 35th. Got 28th, I guess. So that's a bit of good luck on their side towards the end of the race, but still a bit of struggles for them. So I'm kind of regretting my decision of putting Bubba Wallace in the playoffs. I knew I should have picked Christopher Bell. Heck, maybe Daniel Suarez. I know they finished like 26, but still, no hate on Bubba Wallace, but they have some troubles early into the season. finally Alex Bowman and Anthony Alfredo. Bowman, he cut a tire in turn 4. He went up the track and then he tried to come back down so that he could pit, and then zoom goes fast pasta. He just goes right by him, and then Bowman was speeding on pit road. It went over the commitment cone or commitment box or commitment orange box. I don't know what you call it, but still a close call for both of them. I don't know if Anthony Alfredo or Alex Bowman had to change their racing suits after that race. Well, they were going to change it anyway, but whatever. But still, Alex Bowman, he had a great race today, but apparently, due to the tire and stuff, they got a 27th place finish. They definitely had a top 10 car. Not counting out Alex Bowman, even though they're 18th in the playoffs, but they're still a competitive looking race team because they're getting top 10s, in the last 2 races, or 3 races. Well, actually, the Daytona Road Course and Homestead. But still, there's a lot more racing to go, so you can't count out Alex Bowman. I don't know about Anthony Alfredo. If I were him, my goal would to be just, finish better in the point standings than, John Hunter Nemechek. And anyway, that's gonna end it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. More videos coming out soon. I don't know when I'm gonna do another tier list episode. I'm probably gonna take a break for those until we have I think the All-Star paint schemes or patriotic paint schemes come out. We'll rank those, or if I don't make a tier list out of them, we'll just do it how I do, with the best and worst paint schemes and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to make a recovery video on this one in just an hour and stuff, so this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Sunday for the Phoenix race, and have a great rest of your day. See you next time. Peace out.